In case you missed it, this week on It's a Wonderful Podcast, on Monday we had a brand new episode of Morgan Hasn't Seen TV, Palling with Peacemaker. We talked Season 2, Episode 5, Back to the Suture, and Episode 6, Ignorance is Chris. We get into the big cameo and Rick Flag Sr.'s ultimate plans, Chris and our crew learning the truth about the alternate universe, and so much more. So I hope you'll check out this week's episode of Morgan Hasn't Seen TV, Palling with Peacemaker, which alternates every week with Discovering Dawson's Creek, and find new episodes of Morgan Hasn't Seen TV every Monday on the It's a Wonderful Podcast YouTube channel and podcast feed. Then on Wednesday, we had a brand new episode of Morgan Hasn't Seen, where we continued our novel idea series with The Bone Collector. We discussed the film's mystery aspects, the chemistry between Denzel and Angelina Jolie, comparisons to the book, and so much more. So I hope you'll check out this week's episode of Morgan Hasn't Seen, Talking the Bone Collector, and find new episodes of Morgan Hasn't Seen every Wednesday on the It's a Wonderful Podcast feed. Then on Thursday, we had a bonus podcast episode sharing 400 episodes of It's a Wonderful Podcast. On the episode, we talk our favorites at 400. So we created some specific categories and pick from the library of films we've covered on our Classic Films podcast and talked about our favorites. So you can celebrate 400 episodes of our Classic Films podcast with us out now on the It's a Wonderful Podcast feed. And on Friday, we closed out the week with a brand new episode of our Classic Films podcast, It's a Wonderful Podcast, continuing our pre-Code Hollywood series with The Black Cat from 1934. We discuss Karloff and Lugosi sharing the big screen for the first time, where this film sits amongst their other Universal Monsters films, its style, music, and more. So I hope you'll check out this week's episode of It's a Wonderful Podcast, Talking The Black Cat, and find new episodes of It's a Wonderful Podcast every Friday on the It's a Wonderful Podcast feed. Coming up next week, on Monday, we'll have a brand new episode of Morgan Hasn't Seen TV, Discovering Dawson's Creek, as we're nearing the end of Season 4 with Episode 19, Late, and Episode 20, Promicide. Then on Wednesday, we'll have a brand new episode of Morgan Hasn't Seen, continuing the novel idea series with Chocolat. And on Friday's episode of It's a Wonderful Podcast, we'll continue talking pre-Code Hollywood with Design for Living. If you want to know all the films we've covered on both Morgan Hasn't Seen and It's a Wonderful Podcast, those lists are up now on our Letterboxd, so follow me and Morgan there. And don't forget to answer our weekly podcast questions, which you can find on all our socials. And I hope you'll check out everything we had going on this week, and we'll see you next week for more.